Hey everyone, this is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor. Today we have something pretty special. This is the brand new 2021 Ford Bronco Wildtrak Sasquatch. I think Ford might be taking some inspiration from Lamborghini with naming their vehicles recently, but anyways, to kind of explain the Bronco trim line, it starts with the base, then the Big Bend, then the Black Diamond, then the Outer Banks, then the Badlands, and then the Wildtrak, and the first edition is kind of at the top, a little bit off to the side. But other than the first edition, this is the top trim Bronco. The Wildtrak is sort of like the Baja trim, like the going fast over sand type thing trim. So with the Sasquatch pack, we get these big 35-inch Goodyear Wranglers, beadlock wheels, got these flared wheel arches, Wildtrak badge there. This one's got the Wildtrak sticker pack too, so we've got these mountains on the side here. We've got a Wildtrak sticker on the hood as well. Big steel bumpers. Overall, I think that the Sasquatch pack really brings this whole thing together. It's probably the way that I would spec it, especially in race red. Not too sure on the soft top yet. You'll hear that once we go for a drive. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool. Let's kind of just go over a couple things on this Bronco today. I know you've probably seen all of the Bronco reviews there are to see by now. Cool starting sequence there you can see on our big screen there of the bucking Bronco. In the back seat, legroom is not great, but you have these little cutouts in the seat that help you there. So I'm 5'11". This is my driving position right now, and I think I'd be okay. You know, you can always kind of sit sideways and do your thing there. Window switches in the middle, of course. We have some USB ports as well as a normal plug outlet there. 110 volt. This one's got the sandstone leather trim interior. I should say that this thing is pretty much fully spec'd out with just about everything but the hardtop. I think the hardtop's the only thing that it's missing because, of course, Ford is currently having some minor technical difficulties with the hardtops, but the soft top will do. I don't think it looks bad. In fact, from a distance, it's kind of hard to tell because the hardtops are not color matched, so it doesn't really make this truck look any different. We've got running boards here, makes it easy for you to step on in. Should mention also the Daily Motor test route is still under construction, so we're just going to drive around some back roads today and hopefully be able to test out this Bronco to its full potential, but there's not really any off-roading, so I suppose, or like sand dunes or anything, so we're not going to be able to get to full potential, but this will be a good road test. You'll be able to see what most Bronco owners will be doing. So let's go ahead and take this thing out on the road and see what it's like to drive. So with this Bronco Wildtrak, we have the 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6 up front. That's mated to a 10-speed automatic. Now, the 2.7 liter only comes with the 10-speed, so unfortunately that's your only choice if you opt for the V6 EcoBoost. If you want to get the 7-speed manual transmission, you have to opt for the 2.3 liter EcoBoost and sacrifice about 30 horsepower and around about 100 foot-pounds of torque. And it really does make all the difference. As much as I love a good manual transmission, I don't think it's worth it. I think that I would go for this 2.7 with the 10-speed after driving both. This Bronco just feels right. It feels perfect. It feels like this engine and transmission was made for this car. And that's really great because 10 speeds from Ford in the past have not been the best, but this one is great. It's awesome. I'm not sure if it's the exact same unit that you find in the F-150 and the Mustang, but regardless, it's a 10-speed from Ford. It shifts great. The tuning's perfect. It's nice and smooth. I have zero complaints on the transmission. The overall feel of the car, it's very ergonomic. My hands fit nicely around the steering wheel. The seat is comfortable. I have no problems getting in and out of it, you know. So all good things there as well. Of course, being a specialty vehicle like the Bronco, it does have its odd quirks here and there, you know, but it's things that you can't really knock it for. Once I take off here, you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. Proper sounding V6 there, but as you can hear, the tires make quite a bit of noise. There's a few rattles from the soft top, but it's all things that myself anyways, I expected all of this. You've got to remember, this car is made to compete with the Jeep Wrangler and other sort of go anywhere off-road cars. Its main purpose is not to be quiet. somebody that's buying this kind of has to expect that rugged sort of feel and sound, because, you know, that's just the kind of vehicle that this is. Such close gear ratios there, it's able to just be in the power band all the time. It's pretty quick, 315 horsepower, 410 foot-pounds of torque. This thing just gets up and goes. You wouldn't really expect it to be as quick as it is, but it's very quick. It's a lot quicker than the 2.3 liter four-cylinder. Definitely worth it. We have this big display here, this big infotainment screen in the middle with wireless Apple CarPlay, which is nice. Other than that, we have our usual Ford Sync system. Reacts decently. Oh, yep, that's another thing. We're down to 50 miles to E now. I've only been driving it for about a day. We've been getting about 14 miles per gallon. This thing is pretty thirsty. I think if you were to drive it like a normal civilized human, you'd probably get high teens, maybe low 20s, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, somewhere in there. We've been driving this thing to its full potential, so that could explain why we're getting 14 mpg. Anyways, though, the infotainment here, it's about, you know, it's just normal Ford Sync, nothing special. It's nice, though, that they give you wireless CarPlay. That's always appreciated. We've also got quite a lot of driver aids here. We've got lane keep assist. It's not lane centering, so, you know, it doesn't, if you let go of the wheel, it's not going to center the car in the lane, but it will vibrate and, you know, yell at you if you cross either line. I usually only like to use that if I'm on the highway, so we're going to turn that off there. We've got our volume controls here on the steering wheel. I am a little bit nervous for the longevity of these buttons because they are sort of a soft rubber material, and I'm worried that over the years some of these buttons here are going to wear out and crack, and you'll have to replace these whole panels here, but that's a problem for the future. As for right now, they feel great, no worries there. Window switches here in the middle, and mirror controls as well. We've also got our go over any terrain drive mode selector here in the middle, as well as our 4 high, 4 low, 4 auto, 2 high selector there for your 4-wheel drive. If we move that dial here, you can see we can change our drive modes. We've got normal, eco, sport. Switch the other way. Hello. Slippery, mud ruts, sand, and Baja. Baja mode is where the Wildtrak is at home. That's what this trim is meant for. Fast-paced sand driving. I wish we were at the sand dunes right now. It'd be a hell of a lot of fun, but unfortunately we are stuck in southeast Michigan on a dead straight road, but got to work with what we've got right now. Happy enough just to be driving this Bronco. Something really satisfying in here. We have all of these auxiliary switches up here that are super satisfying to touch. Kind of find yourself driving along just playing with those, blinding the people in front of you if you install a light bar. It's nice that they give you 6 of those. You've got quite a lot of accessories that you can put, because of course accessories are a big part of what this Bronco is. There's like thousands of accessories already that you can buy for your Bronco, so that's super cool. Always good when there's lots of OEM plus and aftermarket support for vehicles like this. It's super cool. Yeah, we can hear the roof rattling quite a bit. That is a sacrifice that you have to make when you get the soft top, is you have to expect that soft top to kind of flex around when you're going over bumps. Yeah. It's tough because the hardtop rattles as well, I'm sorry to say. It's a different type of rattle, but you also give up the ease of lowering the roof if you get the hard top. So it's a choice you have to make. Looks-wise, they're pretty similar. I think that I would probably just go for the hard top. It's a little bit quieter when you're on the highway, and I think altogether it's worth it, because I don't know that this is really a daily driver car. In 4-door form, it is certainly more practical, but I think if I were to buy one of these, I would get it as sort of a weekend car or a toy. So I wouldn't mind having the hardtop. You could just park it in the garage on rainy days and not have to worry about the hassle of storing the hardtop anywhere when you're on the move. So for me, it would probably be the hardtop once Ford works out all of those bugs. I also probably would not go for the sandstone interior, because the entire dash is tan, and so are the seats. You've got black inserts, which helps, but I'm not the biggest fan of beige interior, so I don't really like that too much. Love the race red exterior, but I wish that we just had, even, you know, if it was like a saddle color, like a little bit darker, or a brown or a black, I I think beige is just kind of be like my last choice for this, but it's not awful. It's something that I could live with if I bought one of these used. It really is truly just a special vehicle, and to be honest, I wasn't going into this expecting to like the Bronco so much. This is now the third Bronco that I've driven, and I really just love them. They have a nice character, they have soul, they're fun to drive. I think manufacturers are getting so caught up nowadays and just making everything so perfect, and the Bronco has its flaws. You know, it has the odd squeak and rattle. It's not the most comfortable thing down the road, it's not the most quiet thing, but I think because it's imperfect, it's cool. It is perfect because this is how the Bronco's supposed to be. It's a specialty vehicle, it's gonna have quirks. A lot of intervention there from the traction control. I don't know if it's like calibrated right to turn these 35s or what's going on with that, but it really struggles no matter when you hit the gas. You do get, there you go, I guess it's 60 miles an hour you don't. But from any speed like under 40, whether that's you taking off or just doing a roll, the traction control light blinks. So that's another little quirk there. I'm not sure if this thing really has the power to spin those 35s, but the brain of the car certainly thinks that it does. So that's another thing. It is proper though. I have fallen for the Bronco. I really do enjoy it. I've had a fun weekend with it. Watch this traction light when I take off. Not too much intervention there. It cut in at about 30 miles an hour. Must have thought the shift into third gear was going to be a little aggressive. Oh, there it goes again. This thing is just so cool. It's got so much style. They've absolutely nailed the exterior design. I want a Bronco. I don't want a daily a Bronco, but I just want a Bronco. I want to have a Bronco to just take out on the weekends and go to Silver Lake sand dunes and just have a ball. I should also mention that you are able to have a Wildtrak right under 50 grand. In fact, the four-door starts at 49. So if you're looking for a new car, your budget's around 50 grand, the top trim Bronco four-door is still going to be in your price range. And if you don't care about having four doors, the two-door Wildtrak starts at about 46. So really not too bad price-wise when you consider that the performance you get from this thing is, I would say, worth more than 50 grand. It's such a charming car. It truly is. It truly is a special car from Ford. I was not expecting it to be this special. I'm very happy with the Bronco. I suggest, even if you're not going to buy one, I suggest you go out and drive one because it is a car that's very easy to appreciate. It's just super cool. All right, everyone, that is going to conclude our drive today of this 2021 Ford Bronco Wildtrak. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I've certainly enjoyed driving this thing, as I'm sure you can tell. Make sure to stay tuned for more Bronco content. Charlie did a sound system test on the Bang & Olufsen system in this particular Bronco. So stay tuned for that if you'd like to see that test. I'm sure also we will have another Bronco soon, so more in-depth tests such as fuel economy, things like that will be coming your way soon. But as for now, that is going to conclude our drive here. Cool little starry night there with a shooting star. So cool. Such a proper exterior design in this thing. Alright everyone, that's going to wrap it up for us today. This has been Christopher Brower with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.